Ever notice that? You're shaking hands with someone, or maybe they're gesturing while telling a story, and you spot it, the watch, but it's on their right wrist. And for a split second, your brain does a little double take. It's not a big deal, but it definitely stands out. Is it a mistake, a bold statement, or something else? Most people, around 90% of the population, are right-handed, and convention dictates we wear our watch on our non-dominant hand, the left. It just makes sense, right? It keeps the watch out of the way, protects it from getting banged up while you're writing or using tools, and makes it easier to check the time while your dominant hand is busy. So when someone defies this unwritten rule, it's like a quiet rebellion on their wrist. It's a small detail that can reveal a surprising amount about their personality, their mindset, and how they navigate the world. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you know. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating psychology behind the people who wear their watch on the right hand, and you might be surprised by what you discover. Let's start with the most obvious and practical reason: they're left-handed. For the roughly 10% of people who are lefties, wearing a watch on their right wrist, it keeps the watch safe from bumps and scrapes as they go about their day, writing, drawing, or doing anything that requires their primary hand. It's pure logic and convenience. There's no deep psychological mystery here, just a practical adaptation to a world largely designed for right-handers. So if you see a watch on a right wrist, the simplest explanation is often the correct one. They're simply part of the creative, intuitive, left-handed minority. It's a quiet badge of their unique wiring. But here's where it gets interesting. What about the right-handed people who choose to wear their watch on their right wrist? This is where psychology really comes into play. These individuals aren't just following the path of least resistance. They're making a conscious, or sometimes subconscious, choice to go against the grain. Let's call our first profile the contrarian or the rebel. Picture this person. They enjoy questioning the status quo. When someone says, "This is how it's always been done," their first thought is, "But why?" Wearing a watch on their right hand is a small, personal act of nonconformity. It's a way of signaling, maybe just to themselves, that they don't blindly follow rules, they think for themselves. This isn't about being difficult for the sake of it. It's about a deep-seated need for autonomy and individuality. It's their little secret handshake with themselves, a constant reminder that they forge their own path. They might be the type to have unconventional hobbies, challenge office politics, or simply prefer a unique style that's entirely their own. The watch on the right wrist is a symbol of their independent spirit. It says, "I considered the norm, and I chose something different because it works for me." Does that sound like anyone you know? Then there's another fascinating profile, the efficiency maximizer. This person is all about logic, optimization, and finding the most effective way to do absolutely everything. They're likely right-handed, but they've made a calculated decision. Why? Think about the movements of your hands. When you check your watch on your left wrist, you often have to stop what you're doing with your right hand. You might be writing, using a mouse, or holding a tool. The efficiency maximizer sees this as a tiny, yet unnecessary, interruption. By wearing the watch on their dominant right hand, they've streamlined their workflow. They can glance at the time without breaking their stride. Their dominant hand, the one they're most aware of, holds the information they need. It's an ergonomic choice. It might seem like a micro-optimization, but for someone who values productivity and efficiency above all else, These small seconds add up. This person likely organizes their desk with precision, uses keyboard shortcuts religiously, and has a knack for finding the quickest route in traffic. Their watch placement isn't a statement against convention. It's a statement in favor of personal productivity. It's a very deliberate, logical choice, driven by a desire to make every moment count. Now, let's explore a more emotional and symbolic reason. Let's call this type the sentimentalist. For this person, the watch isn't just a time-telling device. It's an object with profound personal meaning. Perhaps it was a gift from a loved one, a parent, a grandparent, a significant other, and maybe that loved one wore their watch on their right hand. By wearing it on the same wrist, the sentimentalist is creating a tangible connection to that person. Every time they look at their right wrist to check the time, it's not just about hours and minutes. It's a moment of remembrance, a comforting link to a cherished memory or a person they hold dear. It's a tribute. In this case, the choice has nothing to do with dominance or rebellion, and everything to do with heart and history. The watch becomes an heirloom worn, not just for function, but for feeling. The slight inconvenience is a small price to pay for the constant, quiet comfort it provides. It's a way of keeping someone close, a physical embodiment of a bond that transcends time itself. But here's a twist. Sometimes, wearing a watch on the right hand isn't a deep-seated trait, but a temporary adaptation. Let's call this the practical adapter. This can happen for all sorts of reasons. Maybe they have a tattoo on their left wrist that they don't want to cover. Or perhaps they have a temporary injury, a rash, or a scar on their left arm, making it uncomfortable to wear anything there. In some professions, it can even be a matter of practicality. Imagine a doctor or a nurse who needs to take a patient's pulse with their left hand. Wearing the watch on their right wrist keeps their left wrist free and clear. For the practical adapter, the choice isn't a reflection of their core personality, but a response to their current circumstances. It's a simple, logical solution to a temporary problem. It shows flexibility and an ability to adjust to the situation at hand. It reminds us that not every quirk has a deep, hidden meaning. Sometimes, the most straightforward explanation is the right one. Life is messy, and we all have to make small adjustments to navigate it smoothly. Finally, there's a profile that's a bit more assertive, the statement maker. This person is highly aware of social cues and personal branding. They understand that in a world where everyone is vying for attention, small details matter. Wearing a watch on the right hand is a deliberate choice to be noticed. It's a conversation starter. When you wear a watch in an unconventional way, people's eyes are drawn to it. It makes the watch itself, which might be a luxury item or a unique piece, more prominent. For the statement maker, their watch is more than an accessory. It's part of their identity. Placing it on their dominant, more active hand ensures it gets seen. As they gesture, talk, and interact with the world, the watch is right there in the spotlight. This person is often confident, outgoing, and enjoys expressing themselves through their style. They aren't afraid to stand out from the crowd. In fact, they welcome it. The watch on their right wrist is a calculated move in the art of self-presentation. It says, "Look at me, notice this detail, and understand that I am deliberate in how I present myself to the world." So, from the practical left-hander to the rebellious contrarian, the hyperefficient maximizer, the sentimental soul, and the bold statement maker, this one small detail can tell so many different stories. It's a beautiful reminder that human behavior is complex, nuanced, and deeply personal. The rules we follow, and the ones we choose to break, paint a picture of who we are. So, how does this land for you? Do you wear your watch on your right hand? If so, which of these profiles resonates with you the most? Or maybe you know someone who does this, and now you have a new lens through which to see them. Let me know your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your choices say about you. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy exploring the hidden side of human behavior, make sure to subscribe for more. See you next time.